Hi, are you a federal employee or, like me, federally adjacent and currently laid off or being threatened by layoffs? I hear you. I am living that uncertainty myself right now in my day-to-day job. And the funding cuts, the people being told they have till the end of the week, the programs disappearing overnight, it's a lot. And I know for a lot of people, particularly those if you still may have your job, is the uncertainty. It's the not knowing what's going to happen next and what can we do about it? Probably not much as far as the outside world goes. But this video is going to share with you some self coaching tips that you can do for your mind to help you manage this during this time of uncertainty. It will not give you affirmations or tell you to just trust the process. That's not our style here on Self Coaching for Skeptics. I get it. And as someone who's living through this right now, I am using these myself on a daily basis. So, first off, let's talk about what your brain is doing and why. And so, when your brain is faced with this kind of particularly kind of low grade chronic uncertainty, it starts to spin out. Um, it doesn't like that. Our brains would rather hear bad news than no news. And don't get me wrong, if you're a federal employee or work with a federal program, you probably have bad news for breakfast. So that's to be expected. However, this level of uncertainty and not knowing is what causes us the most grief, at least for me. I find my brain also tends to fill it in with the worst case scenarios. So it's not measured in in its initial response at all. Rather, it's saying things like, I could lose my job any day. How long am I going to have to put up with this? This entire department is going to go under. I'll never find another job at my age, all of those things. And again, that's not because there's something wrong with your brain or a personal failure. It's just how our minds work. It's how they evolved to help us look for danger. And uncertainty these days in our job workforce is what the brain equates for danger. There's no problem there. What what can become kind of destabilizing is if you just let yourself live in that space. So I want to talk about a couple ways we can move forward and use our brains and kind of help manage them so that we can get what get our jobs done and kind of get on with this stuff. So, step 1 is to kind of figure out what's the story am I telling and is it helping? And what we want to do here is separate the facts from our thoughts. And I journal, I've mentioned that in other videos, but I would highly recommend, and if you're up for it, pause the video and join me, is grabbing a piece of paper and actually writing this down. Writing it down has a lot of um, helpful effects in that it's going to help your brain slow down. And then it gives you something to actually look at. So I know what a piece of paper looks like. And this is just the back of my old resume. I'm just kidding. But, we are cynical here. But you want to write on one side of your column, you want to write down the facts and you want to write down thought. So your fact is going to be a circumstance that is tangible or real, like I still don't know if my program will be cut, or my boss said that we may know more next month, or I have 3 months of savings in the bank. Those are facts. Your thoughts are going to be things that are more like that tell the story where I don't know what's happening and this is terrible. This is completely unfair and it's so and so's fault. And it's uncertain and I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I'll never be able to figure this out. Those are thoughts, and the thoughts are the ones that are gonna be causing you the drama versus the facts can also lead to those feelings, but it can be helpful just to allow a little breathing space to tell the difference between those. And really that's what this exercise is for. It's not telling you not to have those thoughts. It's actually helping you validate those thoughts and just provide a little separation between the thoughts and what actually are the circumstances. So we do this because once we can see what our thoughts are and kind of what kind of feelings those are causing us, we can then decide what we can do next. We've got that out on a piece of paper. I hope that you'll find the exercise a little bit calming. Again, I do this on a daily basis, so this thought download is just something I would try, but particularly when something is intensified in a situation like we're going through now, I might pull this out like during my lunch hour at work and just do a quick thought download just to kind of ground myself. And grounding's the next step. So I want us to look at this list of thoughts you have and see if there's any there that could kind of provide you just a little bit of solace. Just one of the thoughts that, not the ones that are electric and like have a lot of sizzle around them, like this is, the end of the world. We don't want to look at that, or this is unfair. But maybe there's a thought there that causes you a little bit of pause and has a little bit more of a caring bent to it. And don't worry if they don't. You haven't done anything wrong. Particularly if you're in the place where you just found out about a job loss, you just may not be able to get there. This is not an exercise to beat yourself up. I've got some thoughts you can borrow, so try one of these out. I don't know yet, and that's okay. Um, I've dealt with adversity before, and I've come through it okay. I can acknowledge that it's uncertain, and I can try to move forward. Again, we're not looking for thoughts that are unreal or that are gonna make our eyes roll. We're skeptics here. We need it to sound like something we can believe. So run through your thoughts, try out some of mine, and see what kind of resonates. And you're looking for one that you can believe and might feel as a little pat on the back, like, "Oh, okay. I like that one." And so the next and before we start the next step, let me just tell you, your brain is going to initially be responding by resisting all of these thoughts, and that's absolutely okay. Like I said, play around with them, maybe make a list, even if they're not your own thoughts. Think of something that is, you know, something you can believe and it's just a little bit better, you know, some sort of ladder and stepping stone so we can get to something where we might actually feel good. That might be too much to ask for at this particular moment. And again, that's okay. So the third step that you would want to try here is to continue practicing that grounding thought. And I would do this, I suggest, I like to write things down because not only does the physical act of writing kind of help embed it in your brain, but then you've got something tangible to look at. You can put this on a post-it note, you can put it on your phone as your screensaver, you can write it down 50 times, you can journal about it every day. Whatever would look like practice to you. Um, meditating it, whatever. I talk to myself a lot and yes, it can look a little bit off around the house and stuff, but I would just be saying that thought to myself, "Hey, Aaron, remember," I would even probably follow an example. "Remember that time when we got laid off before, or remember that time when we lost our pets," or something like that, and we were able to get through that, and just keep practicing that thought as much as possible, and if that's new to you, practicing thoughts, go easy on yourself. If you only remember once a day about this thought, that is at least a single moment when you were able to kind of relax a bit during this kind of potential to spiral. So, again, this isn't an instant change, but this is just a possible tool you might use as sort of a touchstone, someplace you can go to when you find your mind kind of starting to freak out. Maybe you can go back to that thought and lean into it a little bit. So, again, this video is not at all about telling you not to panic. It's okay to panic. I get it. I've had those moments too. And I'm definitely working with people that are having a whole gamut of emotions about this. And they're absolutely okay. But what we're trying to introduce here is maybe just not living in that sense of panic. It's not sustainable for your mental, emotional, or physical health. And, the self-coaching is just about the potential of giving your brain a little bit of structure when the world looks wobbly. So I hope this video has been helpful. This is part of a mini series I'm doing directed at federal employees and the people that love them that might be going through this terrible layoff waiting room. I'm with you, friends. I'm in it myself. So if you've found this video helpful, please subscribe, check out the playlist, maybe forward it to a friend or colleague you think might benefit. And if you're up for it and you feel like sharing some of the thoughts or feelings you might be going through, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And, my heart goes out to you. Best of luck through this. Thank you.